We are hoping to progress forward into a space of our own one day very
Oh,
soon.
cool.
Yeah, which is actually what
Yay.
I want to talk to you about is
Oh,
what
good.
what are my next steps?
Awesome. Oh, it's funny. I feel like they're telling me no matter what happens, just you taking this time to tune in and be calm and just feel supported and present is one of the most valuable things for you today. So yes, good that you scheduled this and planned this for yourself.
Yeah, I'm feeling that too.
Oh, good. Do you want to ask your question now, or do you want to wait till after the guided meditation?
Yeah, we can wait till after the guided meditation.
Okay, perfect, Mar. All right. So I'm going to have my eyes closed. Periodically I'll open them, but sometimes they're closed for a lot of the reading, just because that's how I tune in. And you can keep yours closed or open, whatever's most comfortable. Taking in a deep breath, as deep as feels good to you, in through your nose. Noticing it going into your body, wherever you might need extra oxygen and attention. I don't know if you've had anything happening with your teeth or your head, and maybe it was in the past, but they're showing me like something about your teeth or your jaw that in the past has been something of your attention. So I don't know if that's resolved or if any of that connects for you, but
Yeah, it's just starting an issue. Yeah.
Oh, the pain. Is there an issue in your jaw mouth area that's just starting?
Yeah, one of my teeth has shifted and it's hitting my top tooth with every like bite. Yeah, and it's starting to really bother me.
Yeah. Okay. Are you all right if we look into that and see if there's more
Sure.
information?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know. You might be too young for this. They're giving me this character that I think his name was Tony the Tiger. Take a bite out of crime. Do you
Yeah.
know? Okay. So there's a few sides to this. First is I'm getting the impression when you're interested in something in life, you're like a tiger. If you just get in there and you put your teeth in it and you're like grabbing it, which is great. It also, this take a bite out of crime, though, it feels like there's something like crime that you're getting involved in that's actually not in your highest purpose to be involved in. And that's why there's this misalignment, disconnect happening. Now, even as I'm saying this, I acknowledge, so my philosophy is a lot of times what shows up in the body does have another component to it. It does not always mean, though, in my opinion, you fix the emotional spiritual component and the body fixes itself, because sometimes the body needs extra help. So, and I can look more into, what needs to be done with the mouth and the jaw and all that to help. But there's something that you're getting your teeth into that's not in your best interest to be involved in. And it may be emotionally, it feels to me it's something that you feel like it's important, or this is a really good cause, or people really need to do something about this, but not you. Are there anything, and I get them, you're probably a highly motivated person who's involved in a lot of things. So you might need time to reflect. They're not giving me a clear answer of what are you involved in that isn't yours to be involved in this way. You can still care about the issue. If there's something you're involved in that's related to crime in any way, that might be what you want to look at. Can you give yourself some more distance there?
Okay. Yeah, there's a couple things coming up for me, but one of the things is, do you want me to share? And then
Yes,
okay.
this might help us get more clear
More
on it.
insight. Okay. Well, one of the things is that I went away recently, so it's been bothering me for like a couple months, and my dentist wants me to get Invisalign, which I struggle with because yes, it's just like a 1-year process, but then you have to wear the retainer every night for pretty much the rest of your life.
Oh,
And
wow.
I know. And I'm like, I don't mind the 1-year commitment, but then it's like the long-term commitment I'm kind of resistant to. But anyways, if it's shifting and I need them, then c'est la vie. But when I went away for the weekend, it was bothering me the first 2 days and then gone. And I thought that's interesting because maybe it is stress and, maybe things are shifting because of stress. And then I came back here and I'm working again, and I definitely overdo it in terms of work. I love what I do, but I overcommit. And if somebody calls me saying I need an appointment today and I'm already fully booked, I'm like, no problem, let's put you in. And I think it leads to my own stress and exhaustion. So in terms of what I'm taking a bite out of, I almost feel like that's more it than rather than like a cause or something else in that
Yes.
regard.
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of what's coming up for me right now.
Yeah. And that sounds good. I'm going to give Invisalign also. I'm glad that came up, because even though I don't know if this is going to be a thing you pursue, I want to use it as a metaphor.
Mm-hmm.
Can you Invisalign your work to create a structure like braces or guardrail or a firm structure so that there isn't things shifting? Yeah. Yeah. They're giving me more, because it's like when you add in, somebody calls you, you're carrying a heart. It's like, yeah, I'll shift and fit you in. But it's like, if you have to fit in another tooth, everything else gets bumped and doesn't get as good of an experience. And so thinking of adding in another client to a fully booked schedule is like adding in another tooth. The other teeth are going to get knocked around, and it's actually going to create unalignment overall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to see if there's anything else that might be. So when you say people call you, do they literally call you or text you to make an appointment?
Yeah, I just hired on my sister actually to be my admin assistant.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Good.
but still the office number is my number.
Okay. Because for example, one way I have like a structure is, yes, people could call my number, but at a certain time, it's like it goes off to whatever. Like it's not a calling service, but also on my calendar, let's say there are the set times people can book, and they can't book outside of that. And sometimes, yesterday, somebody messaged me, oh, can I book? And I thought, okay, can I take you on today? And I told them, this is what I can do, because I did have an opening, but it was like 10 minutes away. And they said, I can't make it. And I said, okay. Even though for them, they felt very, I don't want to use the word desperate, but it's what I'm thinking of right now. They felt very much like, I have to see you today. So then when I gave them options, oh, they were happy to see me 8 days later or 7 days later. And once we had an appointment on the books, or I gave this person all the options, they seemed fine taking something at a later date. And both of us were happy, and I didn't have a rushing. So with your sister, the admin, it may be helpful for you, because you have this tendency to just say, yes, I'll fit you in. You may try out for a while. What if there's a bit of a rigid structure that people have to work within this structure, and you decide ahead of time, this is how many I can take. And if you can't fit in that, that's okay. And maybe, I don't know. Is that there? I'm wondering, just because I know how some of us are, we might still feel like, yeah, but I have to still help these people.
Yeah, and I do, but what you're saying resonates too. I think there is a lot of urgency, and people will call me saying like, I've been struggling with this for months. I need help now. And it's like, yeah, but my wait list is a month long.
Yeah.
And my caring heart does want to put them in sooner, but at the same time, there does have to be some sort of a balance that, okay, well, if this has been on for months, either maybe you have to find somebody else, or I'll put you in for my next one and also put you on my wait list, so that there's some boundaries there for me too. Because I do like what you said too, like when I do fit them in, I'm the product, right? Like when people come to see me, they come to see me. So I need to be at my best self too. So if I'm constantly, fitting people in, I think I'm serving them, I might not actually be, because in the meantime, I'm sacrificing my family time or my time for fitness or, my mental health right in the meantime. So
exactly. And so in that way, I'm getting goosebumps. I'm thankful for your tooth. because it's
Mm-hmm.
really, even, I don't know how it will all get resolved, but
Mm-hmm.
your tooth is being like, this is important and you're not going to ignore me.
Mm-hmm.
And also what you just said, I want to add in a little bit more, a proposal for you of, and hopefully with your sister or somebody else who helps you look at your business structure, you can explore, will this work? But I'm going to call it a retainer and a pre-retainer. So if you meeting with you is the middle Invisalign service, let's just call it that as a metaphor. What if there's a once a month class that's the pre-retainer that people can take, that addresses 7 common problems that people come in with, and you teach a once a month group class and it costs XYZ, and people can come in and know like, oh, you mean I can help avoid diabetes by doing all this? Yeah, I'll do it. Oh, and I can also book my appointment then. And also, so, and then the retainer, the afterwards is maybe there's also a class once a month or once a season. That's kind of the aftercare. Let's sustain your health so that you don't have to come in for an emergency. I mean, not that it's an emergency, but what I'm thinking of is, it feels that there are some ways that you could support people, let them feel like, oh, we're already being taken care of. Even if I don't have an appointment today, I'm going to the class next week, and it also brings in income. And who knows, at a certain point, maybe an intern teaches the class, or, you know, if you've been doing this for 5 years, maybe it's a new doctor in your practice who's teaching one of these classes, or maybe people buy the class. I don't know. But I also feel like I get a sense of, it helps you feel like you're serving them and you give them something to work with, even if they're not going to see you for a month.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah. And maybe there's just 1 or 2 topics that people come in with that are super easy for you to give a little info session about, that'll help them start shifting their health, and they'll still come to you for the long range healing journey, but it gives them that initial support. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. I'm gonna tune in a little bit more. All right, taking in a deep breath. I feel like your tooth is saying, you're not done with me yet. If there are other areas of your life that feel out of alignment, it feels like there's an invitation to also gently look at those. And even as I'm saying this, I know, same with someone's health, you don't always fix all the problems at one time.
Yeah.
So, and not that I'm qualifying that your life has problems, but
no, I get it.
Yeah. So it's like, maybe you work with the boundaries of your schedule first, and in a month or 2, you're like, okay, what else could I take this alignment, braces, invisible structure metaphor for somewhere else in my life? Are there other things that are out of alignment that are impacting either your health, or like a frustration or annoyance factor? Because like you say, you have such a giving heart for people. I feel like your tendency would be to give till like you're dying on the ground, and you'll be like on your deathbed, and you'll be like, oh, can you tell so-and-so this is what they need to do?
Yes.
And don't forget to take your drops of whatever. And people are like, you're literally dying. And you're like, I know, but I just have to help one more person.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's beautiful that you are that way. And eventually it'll be good to have some other invisible structures in your life that protect you from just bleeding all your blood out, to be like, here, take a liter of my blood. I'll just replenish it later.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a great idea.
Good. Okay. I'm laughing because I was thinking about how you just took the vacation, and I was going to say you could take more vacations, and they're giving me the message of 6 more vacations a year.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds really lovely.
Yeah. I'm writing that one down.
Yeah, that's good. Well, and it's also to me a subconscious thing of if I go to a doctor and they feel so vibrant and healthy, and it also makes me trust in the process and think this person knows how to have optimum health. I trust them to help me. Even if, we're working with the body to heal itself, I feel like it also is almost your own calling card. The more healthy and vibrant you allow yourself to be, the more other people are like, oh yeah, I mean, can you see her? She just glows with vibrancy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's much more energy attractive that way.
Yes, exactly. Right. So I know you came with a question, and before I get to that, I feel like I'm just going to settle in a little bit more and have us ground in a little bit. So taking in a deep breath, releasing it whenever you feel ready, and taking in your next deep breath, feeling it going all the way down to your toes. And if you want to wiggle your feet, you can. With your next deep breath, calling in all of your energy and all of your resources into you right now. Anything that you have to remember, have to do later, it'll come back to you when you need it. Just calling in all of your awareness, all of your beingness, all of your attention and energy into this moment, and releasing with an exhale anything that's ready to be let go, anything that's not yours, anything that someone else can take care of. With your next deep breath, calling in all of your guides, angels, ancestors, everyone and anyone who wants to be here, who wants to be supportive. They feel like they're almost like a team of cheerleaders, but in the best possible way, of cheering you on. I'm definitely getting this whole team feeling of all the support for you. Yeah, they're giving me team spirit, which I think is funny. Okay. And I know you said you brought a question today that you want to look into. What's that question?
So the question, I guess, is around my partner and I and our puppy, where we're going to be. Or, you know what, we have dreams, and I know most normal people start with, let's just say, a condo, sell it in a few years, do a townhouse, and work their way up. And we want the big property. And because we want to host nature immersion retreats and have our clinic on there, and help a lot of people, more than just the one-on-one care. So that's our goal. And I don't know if I'm just too eager to have it now that I'm not willing to do those like normal stepping stones, or if there is a possibility that we can like walk into that. And I don't want it to be in Timbuktu. I want it to be somewhere accessible.
Right. Oh yeah, I can totally relate. And I'm a huge nature lover, nature immersion person. So I love that's big for you. Yeah, my book, Talk to the Trees, is to help people connect to nature. So I love that that's a mission for you. Yes. And your puppy is coming in strong. Also, it feels like more dogs than just yours. Maybe random, but have you all ever thought about either dog therapy or having a kennel, or I don't know if kennel is the right word. I don't think it's a doggy daycare, but a place, where dogs can board. And I just feel like there's many dogs there.
Okay. I haven't thought of that, no, but she just walked over to me happily with a stick in her mouth. So,
oh, that's cute. Does your partner have any interest in running a kennel or a dog boarding facility or any dog therapy training?
I don't think that he would have consciously thought of that. This is his first dog, so
Oh, okay.
And he loves her, he adores her. So, but I don't think that he would have. I can bring it up and see if that's
Yeah,
something that
yeah.
resonates.
Who
Yeah.
knows? See,
Yeah.
it just feels like there's a lot of dog energy there.
I like that.
Hmm. Okay, so I'm going to look into this more. Because I think one of the things that's also coming up, I was thinking of it as a kennel, but a potential path to explore if you want to do this now is they're showing me caretaking. So it feels like there's somebody who has a lot of land. It seems like with more than one building, and they need some help with caretaking, but they would be perfectly happy to let you use the rest of the land kind of for whatever you want to use it for. And the sense I'm getting is even though you wouldn't own it and like you might not have, let's say your clinic office there, you could, if you want to have these events or retreats, it feels like that could be one way easily to directly get to, we're hosting events, we're being known for this, and then within a short period of time, short in the grand scheme, like 3 to 5 years, these events that you're running on land that you don't own, but that's okay. Like you're securing the funds to have the land. Okay, let's see if there's anything else about that. Yeah, to me, ownership, and I'll look more about the other nuances of this. It doesn't feel like the two of you are owning this big piece of land right away. To me, it feels more like 5 years down the road. But I also get the sense of it doesn't mean that these other elements of what you picture happening aren't happening. It just might not be on your land yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, in addition to the word caretaking, they're giving me this word benefactor. And I also am coming back to this thing, which is coming through, which isn't exactly what you're talking about, but equine therapy. So, the other sense I'm getting is looking into, I think it's two things. One, places in your region which are doing something slightly similar, but not like equine therapy or like a dog kennel place that has a lot of land. Making these personal connections with these people, telling them what you want to do, and just seeing where that network of it goes, because maybe the equine therapy place says, hey, we've been wanting to do an event, or like a health and wellness a health and wellness fair, and then let people in our community get to know you, and then they say, oh yeah, you can run a retreat later this year. So it feels like some of that networking type of thing would be helpful, and it feels like some of them are going to know things about mistakes they've made that they can tell you and your partner to help you not make the same mistakes that are involved with the similarities of that, or they might say, oh, this is the liability insurance we have, all these things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much about that world, but they do.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so that's one part of it. The other part of it, when I get this whole thing about benefactor and caretaking, and I think of, near me, there's an organization that's a foundation that takes in funds from all these donors and then distributes it to various causes. So I feel like there's some benefactor or foundation who would be aligned with what you're doing. And so perhaps a partnership would be a way to create this more quickly too. So that might be something to explore. And even if you're like, well, I don't want to partner with anybody long term, it could be a short-term partnership. Okay, how's any of this landing for you?
Great. We actually have been thinking the same, and yesterday even we wrote a letter, and we just made like 30 copies, and we went to the area that we'd like to live and just handed out a few.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, and we're just thinking like same thing at the bottom. It says we're open to cooperating in some capacity. That doesn't have to like look like a standard home ownership agreement. We can like work towards a common goal. So this is kind of landing in terms of that as well, that we can kind of have more confidence in that route.
I love it. I love it. And if you don't mind me asking, your future thing in your mind, will it be a nonprofit or a business? Because there's something about getting a clear idea of the business structure that is over it all would be good to think about, which I know right now that might be amorphous, but do you have a sense of, in the long run, do you want it to be a for-profit or nonprofit?
Originally, when we were talking about it, I mean, we're open to anything, but originally we were talking about having it be a nonprofit.
Okay, great. So the other sense that I'm getting is knowing that if you, I don't know if it's different in every state, but when I've worked with nonprofits before, what I learned for some of them is when you start, you have to have an overseeing nonprofit, and it could take a couple years just to get nonprofit status. And I'm getting a sense of if you went ahead and decided this is what our nonprofit is, whether or not we have the land, let's start the process. Let's start the community. Then you could do a fundraising event, start getting all these people helping you, because with a nonprofit, I get the sense of other people could contribute funds, and it doesn't just have to be the two of you coming up with all the funds for it, if that's the route you're going, and that it can take a little bit of time. But if you go ahead and you don't have to decide right now, but let's say you were ready to, you could say, okay, we're going to create a nonprofit. Like, let's start looking into, what does it look like? And then maybe first you just have a potluck or meet at a local spot and tell everybody, hey, we're going to have a little info meeting about this and meet and greet and brainstorm ideas, or have a tip jar if you want to donate or whatever. Like, I do get the sense of, if you're comfortable with having other people involved and helping, that could help it to happen more quickly, either with their financial resources or their connections and ideas.
Yeah.
Okay. So we still have a little bit more time, but there's probably time for one more question, either going into this more in depth or a related question. And so you can decide what you'd like to ask next, or where you want this to go. I'm so excited to tell you about Talk to the Trees, written by myself, Rachel Strivelli, psychic. Talk to the Trees is a short book about connecting to the wisdom of the trees. What can we gain from them in terms of resilience? What do trees know about love, family, and dealing with hardships of life? You can buy it at the places linked below. I would love it if you check it out, buy it for a friend, and spread the word.
Tied between two. I guess.
Oh, well, or you could ask both and we'll see if
okay.
I'm not the fastest person, but I could try.
Okay, well, my other two questions, I guess, would be, one of them is just like in terms of next steps. So you did give me some good ones to like kind of get idea for the business structure and start the community, and really just kind of continue into getting other people involved, which is something that we are definitely open to.
Cool.
I guess for me, like what comes up there is that I get excited, and then instantly it changes to like, well, who are you? Like that imposter syndrome, I suppose, or just like I get excited, expansive about it, and then I contract really quickly.
Yes.
Fear, I think, is a lot of it. It's like, oh my gosh, like this could be successful. This could be, we could help a lot of people, right? It's like the yay, and then it's like, oh my God, like that's a lot, right? So I guess in terms of like that question is like, how do I manage that a little bit better?
Yeah, that's a good question. Okay. And so I'm going to speak about a few things, and then I might have a question for you, or more information might come. I don't know yet, but I know the fact that you're a doctor, you are driven and passionate, and it's, in my opinion, not easy to become a doctor. They don't just hand out these degrees. Like it's quite a lot of work and discipline and all that. And I also get the sense of, I don't want to say that your family wasn't supportive of you, but how do I put this exactly? It almost feels like you are paving a way that is not necessarily the same as the environment that you came from. And I'm not saying they do bad things, but it feels like you are this visionary, expanding and reaching all these steps, and they might just be kind of like, I got my job and I did my job and that's fine. And I just do it and it is what it is. I don't know if that's accurate or not for you, but it feels like, how do I put it? You doing these things in a way feels like a surprise from where you came from.
Okay.
And okay, so is there anything else to say about that? Would you say that you're more visionary or trailblazing than your family of origin?
Yeah, I never really thought of it. I don't know. Everyone has their unique things that they're good at in my family. Like everyone, like my dad was an entrepreneur as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my sister and my mom, they're very like creative people, and they're very really good with like communicating and talking with the community or with people. I don't know if I'd consider myself a trailblazer, but I guess maybe. I don't know.
Okay. Hmm. Do you, and maybe it's not them, are there people, to me, there's one glimpse of something that I get is it feels like an earlier experience from childhood where people's perception of you was kind of like, she's not going to do that much, or she's so whatever that like that couldn't happen.
Probably.
And
Yeah. I was
oh, okay.
very like my sister was the studious one, and I was very like la di da and just kind
Yes.
of free
Oh,
and
okay.
adventurous.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it is surprising to my family that I'm in the role that I am. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. 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 So to me, the best way I can say this of expressing it is it feels like internally there's a part of you that questions, if I keep on growing and reaching and expanding, will I get to a point that I surprise my family so much that they don't get me anymore and I'm not a
Mm.
part of that unit.
Mm.
And so, and it might not be just your family, like there could be friends too who are that way, or I don't think it's your partner, so I'll just, that's good. It
Yeah.
seems
Good.
like they're tracking with you, which is nice. And
Good.
obviously your dog is tracking with you because your dog showed up pretty early on. So
Yeah.
I think this one way of approaching the fear is to give yourself quiet time to, in a gentle way, just remind yourself of that your growth. You might have to play around with a couple different ways of seeing this. So one could be, my growth is helpful for my family and my community. The more that I grow, the closer we get together. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting also, it's more than just you. There's something in the family lineage. I think this is why it's hard for me to identify a specific moment. It feels like also in the family lineage, there have been moments where somebody did something so trailblazing and the rest of the family was like, whoa, and couldn't handle it at all.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And so I think, I don't know if you're familiar with epigenetics or like ancestor work or any of that, but to me, it feels like this is one of those things that it's somehow not conscious, but there's like this passed down expectation. And, it's a very human thing too. Like if we change so much, will we still be included and loved by our loved ones? And okay, yeah. And the last thing is, it's even you with yourself.
Mm.
There's a part of you that's like, what if I change so much that I either don't know who I am or don't know how to handle it or leave people behind or can't keep up. So there's a little bit, it's some them, you and them, and some you and you too.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm getting all the goosebumps about that.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. Are there things you do that feel very, I'm going to use the words grounding or like reassuring, that always when you do it, you feel very solid in yourself?
Yeah, like when I see patients, I definitely feel very grounded in terms of like what I'm doing, and I know that I'm doing the right thing. And
Yeah,
then the other
yeah.
aspect would be being outside or just going for spending more time in nature, especially when I am feeling overwhelmed. It really just brings me back to
Good, good.
myself. Yeah.
Yes, excellent. So I know you already spend time in nature. And I think just knowing when the fear feelings come up, just being like, oh, time to go for a walk. This
Okay.
is one of my, and you might even call it, it's not exactly self-love, but the best symbol that I can come up with right now, even though I know you're going to like to travel and have vacations and stuff, is like the element of trees, how they're like grounded, and the a tree in the middle of a field has such strong wide reaching branches and the roots go so far. Your growth and expansion, it needs those strong roots, it needs that quiet time. Now I'm kind of circling back to the tooth at the beginning of, that's also why you have to have that structure, and maybe it looks like you're treating less patients in a day. Yeah. Oh, okay, didn't know they were going to go there. Now they're telling me you may even want to explore seeing one less patient a day. I don't know what your schedule's like, so that could actually be a big financial shifty boo. But maybe you start out one less a week till you implement this class, and then you'll know, okay, it's one less here and there. I don't know how many you see a week, but let's just say you saw 35 people a week and I'm asking you to go to 30. That's a big financial change.
Well,
But
if
if
I'm
you're
not
having
owning
this,
property,
you what?
but if I'm not owning property, then say la vie.
Yeah,
Those are
exactly.
goals.
And maybe you teach this monthly class or twice a month class, or people can buy a workbook that also brings in some revenue to help
Yeah.
offset. And I'm not saying exactly that you're treating too many patients, but I do feel you're at capacity, and to keep growing with the way you want to grow, you need to have more time in nature or to ground and to calibrate to your growth.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So for the viewers watching, can you share with them? And if you need time to think, that's okay too. Like, I don't want to rush you, but I'm also being cognizant of time too, because I know we both have to go soon. Could you share with the viewers how this landed for you, and was it helpful in any way?
You know what? It was very helpful, and I'm very grateful because nothing I'd say was crazy, like new or like left field. It all resonates so deeply, and there was some level of me that, you know, just needed to hear it from somebody else to really validate the way that I knew that I had to move forward. And I think that I'm doing, you know, the right things in terms of my own growth, but then I have these ideas or whatever to see less patients. And it's like, well, how could that? I don't know. There's some part of me that's like, how could that be helpful? And then
Mm-hmm.
hearing you say that, you know, and say, working on my own growth in order to calibrate to like, or on the quiet time to calibrate to my growth. And some of the other things you said too, it just resonates so deeply. Like it's stuff that I've been thinking, but also doubting. So to
Yes.
hear you reiterating that is very, very helpful for me.
Oh, wonderful. I'm so
Yeah.
glad.
Thank you. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
You're welcome. Yes. And even as you're talking, like bringing together this awareness and talking about it and acknowledging, okay, maybe it's not self-doubt. Like, sounds like this is the direction. What's coming to me is pillar of the community. Like, if you're a pillar in the community, nobody expects you to be so stressed out and worked out. You're not corporate America. You're in the
Yeah.
wellness field.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
true.
it gives you the space to, again, back to that other people seeing you, knowing in a deep way, she values health so much that she doesn't overwork so
Mm-hmm.
that she can bring the best to everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, so true. So important to walk the walk.
Well, I'm so excited for what you're creating. It sounds really
Thank
delightful
you.
and
Thank you.
transformative and beautiful.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm so grateful, and I do feel more excitement to move forward. So thank you very much.
Yay. Oh, you're welcome. Awesome. So yeah, as I said, I'll send you this recording. If you, in a few weeks or months, if you need a update and reminder, you can book a session with me.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, or share about me with your friends. I'll
I will.
also, when I send you the recording, you'll have an option to leave me a review on my Google page. So
Okay. Okay, awesome.
yes.
Awesome.
And
Will do.
what part of the world are you located in?
In Ontario, Canada.
Ooh, oh, I
Mhm.
love it. I lived in
Mhm.
Toronto for a little bit and Vancouver for 4 years. So
Oh, amazing. Yeah, we're just outside of
yeah.
Toronto. We're just like 40 minutes away from Toronto.
Oh, cool. I worked in Mississauga. I don't know if you know
Nice.
that town.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, we're right next door in Brampton.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yay. I love it. Well,
Yeah.
oh yeah, Toronto definitely needs you. One
Yeah.
of the reasons I had to leave Toronto was, as a psychic, everybody's go, go, go hustle vibe. It was
Yeah.
like taking over me, and I
Hmm.
didn't even want to be that way.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, it's contagious, that's for sure.
Yes. So, oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'm even happier now that nature immersion and helping people ground and helping all those folks there. Cause I mean, there's cool things happening there, but people need the balance.
Yeah, and that's why we don't want to be in Timbuktu. We want to be in the outskirts of Toronto so that people can kind of come even with their go, 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 schedules. They can still come and be accessible to their home and their work and whatnot, because it's yeah, just got to meet people where they're at sometimes.
Yes. Oh, I love it. I love it. One last thought. I don't know how you feel about speaking engagements, but since you're near Toronto, I could
Mhm.
also see you going and speaking some places, especially once you have your nonprofit going or as you're getting it up.
True.
I know there's people with money there who would want to fund what you're doing too.
Mm-hmm.
So, but also once it's going and once you have time in your schedule, you can go give a talk and fill up your events with all the city people who need to get away.
No, you're bang on. I've been thinking that too. And I also want to start a YouTube channel
Ooh,
to start practicing, because I am a pretty good speaker, but I want to continue to practice talking about different topics. And so I
oh,
think that's the other thing I want to make room for in my schedule. Oh, the
yes,
credit
I got
cards
most
are,
of it.
yeah. So
Um,
yeah, anyways, I want to start that too. So I definitely want to make room in my
oh,
schedule for that too.
yes, I love it. Well, take care, Marissa.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful.
Does nature know something about manifesting that you don't know? What do the trees know about manifesting that you really could utilize? There's so much that the flowers, the seeds, the trees all have to share with you about manifesting. I recommend you sign up for my free workshop. Start learning about how to manifest by working with nature. This is one of the master secrets that people who are amazing manifestors, they're working with the laws of nature. Unfortunately, most of us in school, we might have learned some science facts, but we don't know how nature works. I'm a nature expert. I have studied nature both in a professional capacity and spent hundreds of hours with it in a personal and spiritual capacity. I want you to learn how to work with nature, how to deeply connect to nature, and how to make nature work with you to manifest the things that you want so deeply in your life, whether that's love, whether that's a fulfilling career, whether that's a home. anything that you want to manifest, working with the natural world can help you with that. Click below to sign up for my free workshop, and I will see you there.